getting today's video, I am obviously a new channel. Apologies for the voice, I'm a little young. Well, not too young actually, but I have been watching boxing for quite a while now. Um, I will be giving you my thoughts, obviously, on Joshua versus Wilder. But yeah, so let's just get into it. So this fight here, I actually personally think could be very one-sided. I do think it could also be competitive, but there's a chance it could be very one-sided. Actually, I do think it could be a bit like the Charles Martin fight. Now, I know Charles Martin, obviously, is nowhere near as good as Deontay Wilder, but you've seen Joshua just literally take opponents apart who are obviously not very skillful. Even the ones that are skillful, you've seen him take them apart. Now, obviously, we saw Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury, I mean, he won that fight, really. I think he did. Tyson Fury outboxed Deontay Wilder very easily, but the issue is he didn't have the power. Now, Anthony Joshua has a lot more power than Tyson Fury, and Anthony Joshua's skill set, in my opinion, is almost as good as Tyson Fury's, if not maybe better. Tyson Fury is more elusive, but the way Joshua gets his shots off and the way he gets his shots in on the opponent, I think that shows how skilled he really is, obviously. But I do think in this fight, the only thing I would be worried about for Joshua, and this is, I'm sure you've probably heard this before, is obviously if he gets caught. Now, I do think if he gets caught, he's in trouble because we've seen him get caught by Dillian White, obviously Klitschko, but we know how good Klitschko was, even if he was, 2 years out the ring going into that fight or whatever. But obviously with Joshua Wilder, I think the only one thing Wilder has, the only advantage he has to winning that fight is power. I mean, yeah, you could call that an advantage, obviously. But I think that's the only way he can win that fight is if he obviously knocks Joshua out. He's not going to win it on points, personally. I think the fight will be in the UK. And I think Joshua would beat him on points anyway if it does go to that. But the question is, can Joshua take Wilder out before Wilder takes Joshua out? And my answer to that is, I think so, yes. I think Joshua is just, like I said, he's very skilled. And I don't think some people, obviously the Wilder fanboys or whatever, I don't think they realise how skilled Joshua is. I mean, you saw him against Klitschko, who, let's be serious, obviously would have beaten Wilder, in my opinion. And I think, until Joshua obviously got clipped with a shot, I mean, in my opinion, he was winning that fight quite comfortably. I wasn't really worried for him either, Obviously, Klitschko's skills are a lot better than Wilder, and obviously his boxing ability is way better. So you'd imagine what Joshua could do to Wilder. Now, Wilder's chin isn't probably the best. I mean, I know it got tested against Luis Ortiz, but the thing is with Luis Ortiz is you don't really know how good he is because other than Wilder, he hasn't fought, that good of opposition. I know he fought, what was his name now? The one in Monte Carlo. Forgot his name now. Was it Malik Scott? He went obviously 12. Was it 12? I think he went 12 rounds with him and he couldn't take him out. So you're wondering if he can go 12 rounds with Malik Scott and almost take Deontay Wilder out in, was it the ninth round? I think. Then you do wonder how good his power really was and how good he really was. But you don't know. I think I would like to see Ortiz versus Povetkin as well. I think that'd be a great fight. I think that's a really underrated fight that not a lot of people are talking about. But why would they? Because obviously, with Povetkin coming off that loss to Joshua and Ortiz, coming back up, could be, I think it'd be a great fight. I really do. But with this fight, obviously, Joshua Wilder, I think it, like I said, or whatever, I don't know if I said it before, it could be very one-sided. It might not be. Joshua might get clipped, but I don't think the fight lasts very long. I don't think it's going to be like the Fury Wilder fight where it's a chess game or whatever. I personally think this is going to be over very quickly, and it could be either way. But I would heavily lean towards Joshua. I don't think I'd even be too nervous going into this fight. I just think Joshua is too skilled. I really do. I think his skill, his boxing ability would be too much for Wilder. And Wilder, if this happens at Wembley Stadium or something like that, I think Wilder, I mean, would he struggle on the occasion? I mean, would it be too much for him? Maybe not, might not be. But you've got to think that's an advantage for Joshua as well in that fight. So yeah, I'm not sure who any of you are picking. Comment who you think's going to win that fight. I do think Joshua. I'm quite confident. But what I would like to happen, and this is what I think is a good idea, I think Joshua should fight Wilder in April. There's a possibility it's going to be Dillian White, and I will be disappointed if that happens. It's a good fight, but not straight away. So Joshua should fight Wilder in April. I also think I think Joshua wins that, and I'm confident he'll win that. He might not. You never know in boxing. Obviously, it is a cliche comment, but you never know. But after that, I think he should fight Fury. And while Anthony Joshua is versing Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury can have some more comeback fights, or to get him even better than it is, because his trainer Ben Davidson said that wasn't even as good as Tyson Fury can go. And it might not be true. We don't know. Well, we do know, obviously. We saw how good he was in the Wilder fight, but I think obviously he can be better. But if he has those tune-ups, then what I think could happen is if Joshua beats Wilder, which I think he will, I think Joshua could then verse Fury in September for another big fight. And I think that'd make the Joshua Fury fight even bigger if Joshua knocks out Wilder, which I think he will. And Tyson Fury could maybe verse Dillian White, or someone else, someone good, not a Seferi or Francesca Pianetta. I think that was a bit too low level, but I think obviously someone a lot higher now, because I do believe he is now. He's obviously he's world level now, isn't he? He's world level. He's back in the mix for real now. So I'm sure they can match him with someone quite good. I mean, I don't know what heavyweights you guys would like to see him in with. Also comment that if you want to. But yeah, these are my thoughts for Joshua Wilder. But like I said, I'm strongly picking Joshua to win. I actually think if Joshua wins, I don't think it'll be too competitive. There is a chance they could both get knocked down in this fight. Obviously, it is quite a big chance. I mean, I'd be very surprised if this goes the distance, but you never know. But yeah, so that was my thoughts on Joshua and what obviously holds for Wembley for him. I do think the Wilder fight that has to happen. But yeah, these were my thoughts, obviously, on Joshua Wilder. So leave a comment and subscribe for the latest boxing news. Thank you.